Hey guys, so this is just sort of a little information I'll pass on to y'all. If any of you are either in the process of purchasing or already have Dualee wheels on your tractor, this is a Kubota, but it doesn't really matter. I think this is probably consistent with all of the Dualees. So there is an issue that actually my neighbor that you hear a lot about, Todd, told me about. He hadn't noticed it on his tractor, which of course also had dualies. But when he sold that tractor back to the Kubota dealership, they told him about an issue. And so he passed it on to me, and I'll pass it on to you. And what it comes down to is this. So for those of you who don't know how the Dualee works, you have an inside rim, just like normal, right? Because you have to have the bead and everything. So you have the inside rim. And then you have a sleeve or separator that is in between the two wheels. The inside wheel is attached to the axle through the same lug nuts and the same pattern, except for instead of that being just the wheel, it is also this plate, you see, or inside disc or plate. And it attaches, of course, onto the rear axle using the lug nuts, and then the outside wheel is attached to the inside rim or the inside wheel through these buckles. So these buckles, you can see, just simply come in and clip onto that plate, all right? So needless to say, there's a lot of pressure on that plate because you have the outside wheel, which actually isn't attached in any other way, to the inside rim, but more importantly, onto that plate, all right? So what's happening? Well, the lug nuts, as you can see from this top one at the, say, 10 or 11 o'clock position, if you look real close, not only do you see these spider fractures coming off of that, but if you look really close, you'll see that the washer has actually penetrated through the plate. It may not have gone all the way through yet, but it is deeply embedded in that plate. And this one over here at the 3 o'clock position, it too has spidering and some penetration of the plate. But this bottom one, say at probably 7 o'clock, is actually has penetrated into that plate quite a bit more. So all three of these really, so that's a lot right through here. There's been a lot of pressure. And needless to say, there is a lot of pressure. Listen to this, I'm gonna grab a hold of this buckle right here, and I just want you to hear it. There's enough play in that plate now because of this, this penetration, that if I grab the opposite buckle, I can actually cause that, put pressure on that wheel enough for it to, squeak. So you don't want that, let's just say, this is sort of a joke. Particularly when you're dealing with 35 to 45 degree slopes like we are. And that's, of course, what's happening. I probably have created this situation myself by over-tightening those lug nuts. I bought a DeWalt impact wrench, like mid-torque impact wrench, because I thought, oh, well, the ones I got that's good enough for a car lug or something, I probably need it tighter than that. Because they kept backing out on me. I mean, every single time I'd get in them, this side at least 2 or 3 lug nuts would be, I could turn them with my hand. I could just back them right out with my hand. So I had to do it every single time I got into the tractor, zip those things with the torque wrench. And frankly, I probably over-torqued them. And so when they were, I couldn't see any signs of it. But then when I got out there and there was such pressure on that plate that when we started to get the torque of these two wheels, on the hill, like that, probably is what caused the pushing of of that plate, probably through the lug nuts or vice versa. All right, guys, back at the next thing.